Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing a review of the Martial World of Japan Japanese style boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Martial World of Japan Japanese style boxing gloves. I got mine in the red colorway, 8 ounces, and Velcro. This glove is currently discontinued, or at least on the Martial World of Japan website. They don't carry this particular model anymore, but when they did, I believe that they had this glove in lace up as well. Very similar to the winning MS series gloves. They had this in 8 all the way up to like 16 ounces and multiple colorways like red, blue, black, yellow, white, all of the solid colors that you could choose from. The glove itself is made of full genuine leather construction with multi-layer foam padding over the knuckle area that has a medium to soft density to it. And surprisingly, the gloves that are Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Martial World of Japan Japanese style boxing gloves. I got mine in the red colorway, 8 ounces in Velcro. These gloves, at least this particular model, are discontinued. And if you do go to the Martial World of Japan website, I'll put the link in the description box. They don't carry this particular model anymore. But when they did, and I can recall a couple years ago seeing this particular model, they had this in lace up. You can get this in larger sizes, anywhere between 8 and 16 ounces. And they also had other colors like blue, yellow, black, and white. So very similar to the winning MS series gloves, which these gloves to me are pretty much emulating. In terms of the materials used, it's full genuine leather with layered foam padding over the knuckle area. That starts off on the medium size, but once you break these gloves in, they become definitely softer. And surprisingly, the gloves are actually manufactured in Pakistan. That kind of threw me off. And the reason I say that is when I first got these gloves, it really reminded me of a really good, I won't even say copy, but I guess you can call it a copy, a good copy of the winning MS gloves. And it even has kind of that dark navy blue liner. But it also has a tag on the inside here. It says MW brand of Japan. And then you flip it around and it says made in Pakistan. So that kind of threw me off a bit. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, that these gloves are a Pakistan-made glove because Martial World is a Japanese brand. This is not a brand that's very well known here in the United States in the West. It definitely is a smaller brand that's more centralized in Japan, but this particular model of glove, and I think a few of their others on their website, are Pakistan-made as well. So just for those of you that are going to ask, are they made in Japan? These are not. They're made in Pakistan. But these are definitely a very, very, very good winning clone, if you were to ask me, both in terms of the shape of the glove, the leather that's used, even the craftsmanship is pretty sharp overall, and especially the foam padding and the way the hand compartment feels, which we'll go into more detail here in a second. But from a design standpoint, this is their 8-ounce glove, so it's very compact, very small. Obviously, this would be something that you would use for bag work, hitting the mitts with. Obviously not for sparring unless you get a larger glove. The layered foam padding on here is really good for everything in the gym in terms of training. The red leather on here has more of a satin finish. It says Martial World in oval, brands of Japan, Invincibility. You have a 2-inch Velcro strap on the back of the wrist that has the cloth Martial World patch on the back of the Velcro. So nothing too crazy there. And just like the winning Velcro gloves, the strap itself is very thin. There's not much to it. And it doesn't have any piping around the edges of the Velcro. So just like winning gloves, you do have white piping on the bottom of the cuff that comes up through the palm side with a dark blue satin liner on the inside that's nice and smooth. And I showed you guys already the tag on the inside there. You have about 1 inch of medium density foam padding on the back of the wrist. And I'd say maybe 1/8 of an inch of a very soft foam padding on the inside that lines the inner side of the hand. It's relatively soft and thin in terms of wrist support on the palm side. White piping around the thumb, double stitching around the grip bar. You'll notice that the grip bar that's used is like a rubber tube Very, very dense for that grip bar, and you can actually see the shape of it. It's not like a piece of foam, it's an actual, like, almost like a garden hose type material. It's very, very hard tube on the inside. Kind of reminds me of the Fighting Road gloves I did a review a couple years ago, which were another Japanese, I think those were made in Japan, Japanese style boxing glove. Leather attached thumb right there as well. So all in all, very similar to the Winning boxing gloves. You also have the weight in white that's written on the grip bar itself. But in terms of the shape of the glove, just like the Winning MS gloves with the angular punch section right there, very similar in that regard. Quality wise, the gloves are pretty solid. Overall, when you put these on the scale, I believe the left glove came in at, I want to say 7.9, and the other one was like 8.5 ounces, if I can recall. It was on the screen earlier in the video, but they're pretty much on point with weight, in terms of weight being an 8-ounce glove. You can see the knuckle area does have some wear on the gloves. I've been using this for training quite a bit, and you can see that, you know, obviously the punch surface is where you're going to get a lot more of the wear and tear. The stitching is done pretty nicely overall. I'd say the area right here is probably I would be most concerned with, where it kind of has this little U-turn where the thumb and the index finger meet. The grip bar, you'll notice that the 8 ounces is kind of low. It's not centered right in the middle of the grip bar. It's kind of on the lower side, so it would have been nice for that 8 ounce to be a little bit higher up. Stitching on the thumb looks really good. The attached thumb on here is a little bit on the loose side. It would have been nicer if this would pull the thumb in just a little bit more, so you can see. I would assume if they had a 16-ounce version, if it stuck out that much, that would definitely be a concern for sparring, because that can kind of come out, especially with the glove being as soft as it is. It might come out and poke your sparring partner in the eye. But the outside edges looks really clean as well. The distribution of weight is done very nicely. It's not a very top-heavy glove. I could grab the back of the glove, or should I say the bottom cuff of the glove, and you can see there's no sag. So in terms of weight distribution, done very nicely. You do have that cloth patch, just a little bit of that thread, a little bit loose there. Stitching on the back of the hinge point right there. The stitching, I guess you could say pattern, or how frequently it goes in and out of the actual leather. You can see it's quite a bit more than Winning. Winning has a wider stitch pattern, if you want to call it. So you can actually visibly see the stitch come out and go for a longer duration and kind of go in. This one is multiple stitch entry points, and you can see it could be done a little bit cleaner on that side. But here on the Velcro, it looks good. Around the thumb looks good, and right where the grip bar is, it looks good as well. Inside liner is very comfortable, no issues there. So pretty good overall in terms of craftsmanship. Putting my hand in here, comfort-wise, gloves are extremely comfortable. I'd say in terms of comparing this to Winning, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering, are they just like Winning? The comfort of the hand compartment, the way they feel, definitely feels like a Winning glove. Even the thumb, you'll notice that Winning gloves have kind of a slimmer thumb, if you want to call it, and it kind of tapers towards the tip of the thumb. And this is very similar in that regard. You have a good amount of padding on the back of your thumb that's medium in density, but it doesn't feel like your thumb is getting numbed out or cutting off the circulation. The piping feels really good, especially for an 8-ounce glove. I don't feel like it's too tight in that regard. The palm side right here feels comfortable. The grip bar is nice and pronounced. You can definitely feel that rubber tube, and you can make a nice tight fist with these gloves. There's a little bit of stitching right here that you can feel where your finger compartment is at. It would have been nice if they put a piece of felt or something to cover that up. But the width is perfect. Not too wide, not too narrow. Considering that this is an 8-ounce glove, I feel like the width is pretty much on point. And when I first got the gloves, they were pretty well broken in. One thing I did want to mention as well, which I was going to discuss with the cost of the gloves, is that I actually got these gloves on eBay. So these were pre-owned, but they were in good overall condition when I first got them. So they were, I'd say, semi-broken in when I first got them. They weren't used quite a bit. I could tell whoever owned them before. I probably didn't use them only but a couple of times and just stored them away. So I broke them in quite a bit more. So they're definitely on the softer side now, but overall, a very comfortable glove. Protection and performance-wise, these also are very Winning-like in that regard in terms of the padding. One thing I do like about Winning padding, and this glove does it well, is that it has kind of a softer layer on the outside. A lot of people like to say Winnings are like pillows, but the more you compress that foam in, it really denses up. And It's really a type of padding that you can use pretty much for everything in the gym. That's why you see a lot of pros using their winnings for both sparring, hitting the bag, pretty much everything they train for in the gym, they'll use their winnings for. And I feel like this padding is the same way. Nice flat punch surface. You get that nice connection with your knuckles, with whatever you're punching, and it gives you a good amount of shock absorption as well. This bag I'm using right here is definitely more on the densely filled side. It's a very firm bag. It's not super soft and super forgiving. And even with an 8-ounce glove like this, with the style of padding, I can be really confident in throwing power shots and not being worried about doing any kind of damage to my hands and my knuckles. So I'd say in terms of padding wise, this is definitely on the balanced end with a good amount of feedback as well. Cost wise, this is the gray area. Doing a little bit of research on this glove is really hard to find a definitive cost on how much these cost when they originally were sold, whether it was through Martial World of Japan or if you got it like at a brick and mortar store in Japan itself. There's no current websites, at least that I know of here in the United States. And just in general, if you Google Martial World of Japan gloves, it's going to be pretty sporadic on the information you find, both on the brand and then even more so this style of glove that they offered. And if you go to the website now and you scroll, you won't see this glove anymore. You'll see some of the generic, cheaper synthetic leather gloves that are not these gloves, so they discontinued them. But I would venture to guess that when these were originally being sold, they were probably in the $200 to $300 range. And for me, I'd say around $200 is a fair price, considering that this is a very, very, very good winning clone in my opinion. The shape of it, they got that down. You know, the leather, which is very intriguing to me, is not your standard like Pakistan leather. It's almost like, I feel like they sourced their leather differently, and then they just had the people in Pakistan, or the manufacturer in Pakistan, use their leather and maybe basically it's kind of like when you get a car built here in the United States, but the parts are from other parts of the world. You know, parts are from transmissions from Mexico, and the materials are sourced from a different place, but they use one place to actually manufacture it. And I kind of feel like that's what they did with this glove. Obviously, I can't say that's 100% true, but I feel like they probably used Pakistan for manufacturing, and maybe they sourced the materials from elsewhere. Maybe the leather, even the foam, maybe they used similar foam that they used at the Winning Factory in Japan. And even the cut, the size, and the profile of the glove, maybe they use the same blueprint or plan set or whatever they call that to give you the actual same dimensions of an 8-ounce Winning glove. If I were to compare this to the 8-ounce Winning or 10-ounce Winning fight gloves, they are very similar in size as well. A more compact glove. They're not very big, especially for a fight glove. So definitely in terms of being comparable to Winning gloves, I would say that this is pretty damn close in my opinion. Hopefully they end up selling this glove again, or maybe there's another Japanese website that have this particular glove. That way more people can experience using these and give their take, give their review and their opinion on these gloves, on how accurate these are to being a Winning glove. But I was definitely caught off guard and surprised that these are made in Pakistan for $200. If I were to use that kind of as a price point, I would say that these gloves are worth it. I mean, solid craftsmanship, perform nicely, very comfortable, and definitely a great clone to the Winning boxing gloves. And they're rare. Not many people are, if any, are going to have this glove, yet alone the Martial World of Japan brand. So overall, I'm really satisfied with these gloves. I also have an 8-ounce pair in black Velcro that I use as well. But so far so good. I enjoy these gloves. If you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know where to put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box for the Martial World of Japan website. If you guys have any other websites as well that might carry these gloves, make sure you put that in the comments box so others can see that as well. That definitely would be very helpful. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.